Mandibulise egameni lenkosi. Amen. Kodalwa ke ndingumuntu ondwebileyo. Ndingumuntu ongalinganywe ne-age yam xa sele nditakataka. Ndiye ndikhangeleke ngathi ndiyang kodwa ke I am not. However ke ndikrweciwe ke kathiwa uzuzibambe nzazibamba ke. Conform to the program of the day. We will outline basibheka phi na xa sele sivela kwi-devotions.
Yesu langa lomphefumulo akumnyama xa ukhona makungabi khona akumnyama makungabikho enokunda hlula. Our Heavenly Father, you are worthy to be praised. You deserve the best, Baba. We magnify your holy name. Simakathe sezulu mdala wensuku nomhlaba ibinguwe izolo nguwe namhla yaba nguwe nasemaphakatheni Kristu umthetheleli. You are still reigning on the throne in the wonderful mighty name of Jesus. You have created a human being, so matter for your own purpose, to give you the glory and the praise in the wonderful mighty name of Jesus. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for your presence in this place. So manda Kristu Baba umtanzana somandla Kristu Baba uya progressa egameni lika Yesu. Siyabonga thola phakathi ngalento. I'm sealing this by the blood of Jesus, and no weapon will formed against this shall prosper. Egameni nasegazini lika Yesu. Thank you, Moyingcwele, for everything. Take over and be in charge, Holy Spirit, in this program. Apha kwamthombo egameni lika Yesu Kristu waseNazareth. Everybody say amen. We can sit down.
I greet the founder of the church, my leader, my teacher, my advocate, my counselor before counselor zam zasemhlabeni. Before i-advocate yam yasemhlabeni uadvocate Lufele. My chairman before chairman zam zasemhlabeni of Flatfoot. My president before president yamu Ramaphosa igama lakhe ngumoya oyingcwele. Ameni. Ndiyabona, I'm not sure noba ndizawuthi abantu abakho used depression iyahamba. Bantwana benkosi I won't be long.
Yenziwe ngabafana. To me it's too much. It is extraordinary. Baphume eMdantsane bene ideas ezinjena bazihlanganise on a document. Bakhuphe lento namhlanje singayo today. But zikhona izispeaker that will be talking about that. Umna as an apostle, I must do my part and then sit down. And unfortunately, I won't be with you the whole program, for the whole program. Ndifuna uthetha nje a few words and ndizibhekisa emntwini wonke olapha, including nabantu abasenze basibe lapha, including ne-owner yale ndawo. Singazenza izinto ngengqondo yethu, sicontinuishe, but on the way we will be stressed, we will be frustrated, we will be depressed. We can make all money on earth, because at the end this is it's opening le nto singayo namhlanje imisebenzi, it's creating jobs. At the end abantu kufuneka bathini babe nemali to feed their flesh. But as you're busy working for your flesh, you really need to work for your spirit, because then those zihamba together. But as zihambi even together, eyona eba ngaphezulu is your spirit, because as uhleli apho you are the spirit, you're not the flesh osebenzelayo today. And you'll find out nze abantu babe ne stress, izinto zingenzeki, babe nomona and all that stuff, is because of abantu baphila ngokwenyama. That is why we ended up competing. Sibe nomona ngalento inkulu kangaka yenziwe ngabantwana. I was expecting into yobana akhona endawo apha noba bekumenywa abantu abambalwa. Umhlambi ke because of el demoni li protectwayo kuthiwa iCovid. Balizise ngokwabo. Umhlambi ke is because of londo sithobela irregulations. Ndifuna ukuthi bantwana bam songeze and your team and everyone that is here. Money can take you here. Education will take you here. Fame will take you up here. Political positions will take you up here. Corporate positions will take you up here. Your fame will take you up here. But unfortunately, all those things will never be able to keep you there. It is only the character of God that can keep you up there. The character of God that will sustain this. It is only God's character that will sustain this. Umona awuzungafiki but uzawubhamba, because little izwi likaThixo, if God is with us, who can be against us? No weapon will formed against us shall prosper. The one that is in us is greater than the one that is in the world. The devil is out there in the world, but the one that is in us is greater. Lona ukuthuthuzela songenando. Songekafiki uthi keep on. Uthi as long your eyes zibona, you will reach that place. As long amehlo akho efikelela pha, you will reach that place. But without God, it's going to be doomed. Whatever that you are doing. Nditsho emntwini okhoyo wonke apha. Noba uyakholelwa uba uThixo akekho, noba akakholelwa. Unfortunate,
or fortunate. A human being is created by God. That's it. nguThixo that gives wisdom. There is a worldly wisdom, but if you really want to sustain yourself, if you really want ukuthi into soyiphekile ilegacy yakho ihlale ebantwaneni bakho hlala roots must be Jesus Christ. Roots must be Jesus Christ. You will fall, Max. You will fall. You will fall. You will fall. Sakumana sibiyokubona life because of depression. Abantu bayaphela depression. And your money cannot protect ungabi nayo depression. Aninivanga missed a call. Mandiniyeke. Hayi aninivanga. Ndithi mina your money will never protect you with depression na stress. Noma say 100 billion, it's a joke. It is only the name of Jesus. That is why ndingena stress mna. Bakuthiwa ikhona iformer yelanduka. I'm a former multimillionaire. But I'm standing firm. Ansenayo lo mali. But the one is in me is greater than the one that is in the world. And I know that all those millions will come back in the name of Jesus. Ndiyavuma that ndiyavuya that ndiqonqo nti I know utsheba ndakwazi ungabi nanto. Kuthetha a relevant person here. Mandithi ke kokugqibela. Konke lento siyenzayo, money, education, fame, corporate positions, political positions, minus Jesus is hell on earth. Anindivanga ne? Andicela ukuniphindela. Ndithi everything that we are doing okanye that we have minus Jesus, it is hell on earth. So umuntu nangoku if silindele ndiyavuya lento ba kufumaniseka into bana we are not waiting for government to do things for us. Because they are not going to do it. Anindivanga ne missed call. Awuxola ba ukhona into kwa government olapha. Again, if nicinga into bana size sikhululeke, there will be a political party that will rescue us. Ayikho. Ayikho. Uzayibona? Ayikho. We need to go back to our roots, and our roots is to be led by chiefs and kings. And listen to God. Imbange nomgqibeleli yokholo lwethu. It is only Jesus. I love you all in Jesus' name. I know you hate me, but as long as you hate me because of the truth and ithetha nani. Egameni likaYesu. Amen. Send him pure mile bantwana bo sanhlelanga.
Thanks a lot. Enkosi Pastor Makepula. We glorify your holy name. Kawe lama kawe. We glorify we glorify your holy name. Kawe lama kawe. Thank you very much, Babu Makepula. Ndicela si observe ezi protocols ze COVID-19, social distance, wearing of masks. I'm told that if anyone feels to relieve herself or himself, the ablution facilities at the back, we will do so as we go along. Mandiphinde ndimbulele umfundisi. Denote two things phaa kwezanto bezibeka. I like what you are doing. It's a conformity. You are conform. You are a conformist. I'm happy. I'm happy that you are conforming. Bendisende nendawo ethi lo like thina siluthandayo ecaweni olabatsha. Doesn't know whether you are colleagues or you are couples. Hallelujah. Ningayiphenduli ngokulonto zenixelele xa siphuma bangaba nguwo ngumtshato ndiyosikelela at the right time. Andifuni sibe bambalwa kule team yam. Kule team siqalelwa siyaqalelwa thina ba ubethile u7 awukafika endlini. Kunzima mfuni utshata yenye ingxaki. Xa ungekafika ukucinga into elula. Uxa uzawunxiba esi skip uqala idatha kabana silunganga isibonwa yini. Ngokwayengekho lo muntu kwakuqunda ndiqhuba njani. uThixo ke ubaphe abantu abangomama the women folk power to control. Wabanika imultiplicity bethanda bangalithatha elizwe balilawule. Yintando nje into babaliyekele kuthi. Ubheka ecaweni ufika omama bebaninzi ubheka kwipolitics ufika omama bebaninzi ubheka kwibusiness omama baninzi thina sibambalwa andifuna uxela ndithi amadoda enza nto ndingaphuma mhlambi sendichweca abangasambi kahle. Ndicenga uphuma ndihamba right. Hallelujah. Andizul waste ke ixesha. Uba umakhephula two things azibekileyo apha. Ndiyayithanda la ndithi no weapon formed against us will ever prosper uba sibambelele kuYesu. Aphinde athi ke whether it's our riches or our endeavors, our trials, ukuba ngaba asimbeki uKristu ngaphambili apho iyafana ngathi asenza nganto. There is a book ke kwi Exodus, but I may not quote it and ndizanga kulonto apha. Hallelujah. Cela ke sigqitheni siphakamise umama uNomonde Moyikwa uMamjwarha azosamkelela zonke indwendwe ezilapha abe nawo namazwi ogqabaza okwamkela thina sonke njengoba silapha njengoceba waseBuffalo City Metro asamkelela indwendwe zonke ezilapha athogqiba senzele namazwi noko amagqabantshintshi bona izwe lakho wethu uxoleli izono zazungathobi ungathobi ngqombo yakho luze lufusapho lwakho luze lufusapho lwakho. Thank you very much.
Enkosi mhlali ngaphambili wale mnimini imnandi kangakanana izolileyo. Qala mandinibulise ngegama lika Yesu Kristu umfeli wami. Bonke abasendlini. Amen. Ukwenzela uba bangabuzani abantu seletshilo ke umphathi mhlali ngaphambili, that is the program director, ndinguNomonde Moyikwa, ukansila wakwa 30 odibanisa u11A iportion yaseTuba NU9 Thembelihle eManyano. Ndihlala ke pha eManyano mna. Ndiqhutyulwe kodwa ke xa uyinkokheli awuthindi qhutyulwe ngakumbi xa amathuba evuma kufuneka ukhona phambi kwabantu. Ndiyavuya ke kuba lapha namhlanje ndizokwenza noko umsebenzi mhlambi omncinanana kodwa xa uphambi kwabantu awubi mncinci kuba akululanga uthetha phakathi kwabantu. Ndilapha ke namhlanje sibulela ukuzola phandle. Kuthiwa apha mandizonamkela ngobukho benu nisukwe kwindawo ngendawo. uThixo wanisindisa wanifihla phansi kwamaphiko akhe wazawunibeka apha kwaTata uMthombo. Nonke ke ngokuqani lapha ngokwahluka kwenu nakwindawo enivela kuzo uqala kuwe program director uyakutsho ke kuthi sonke ukwehla namkelekile apha kule nkqubo sikuyo namhlanje. Apha kule ndawo ke yakwaTata uMthombo apha kwa7 kuthiwa khululani ibhatyi zenu nonwabe nimamele ukwenzela zonke izindaba sizokwazi ukuzisa ebantwini. Ndiyacinga into yobana nam bendifanele uba ndikhulule le bhatyi ndishiye phaa, kodwa ke ndathi noko ikhona laa nto ngosecaweni mamam kuthiwa noko suhamba ngengalo hlonipha. Ndathi mandimapha ndinesifuthufuthi funa sikhulule ibhatyi, wonke umntu olapha funeka ekhulule ibhatyi. Ndinento endivuyisayo apha, niyazi into endivuyisayo, uthi utata xa ethetha oomama kwiinto zonke baninzi, kodwa amehlo am namhlanje xa ejonga egqabaza, hayi noko tata baninzi bade bafuna ungathi bangasedlula. Niyayibona, ndiyayibulela le mini, ndiyayibulela tatam, ndiyayibulela tata uLifele. Ndithe enkosi noko tata nabo ke balithatha uxanduva, liyeke olu xanduva lisoko lithathwa sithi. So ke ndifuna ukuthi ke nonke namkelekile apha. Ngoku ke apha izinto utata ebesuka apha ungumfundisi utata uMakhephula sele zithethile, uye ubone ukuthi kuba mbalwa uba uthethe kodwa ke awukwazi ungathethi. Also ke apha ke njengoba kuzawuba mnandi kube njeya, besifanele uba andifuni ungayithethi ke le nto Songezo. Besifanele uba apha sikho apha kwatata uMthombo, qha ke iindawo ziyashiyana. Mandifikelele kuloo ndawo. Besifanele uba kwa-9, besifanele uba le nto siyilontshela kwa-9. Usongezo ngowakwa-9. Okanye mandikuvuyele kokokuba ezi zinto mosi iteknoloji iyahamba, niyayibona ne? Thina kasingobantwana beteknoloji, ezinye izinto siyazibhuda, funeka ungathethi kakhulu ke. Andizukwehlela kakhulu uba silapha nje. Songezo ndifuna ukuthi ningabantwana abatsha. Ndingumntu onqapheleyo ngosimna kodwa ndimdala. Mhlawumbi ndingabe ndiyakuzala ngokwe-age yakho. Ndifuna ukuthi ke xa nditshoyo ndithi mntanam. Ngoku sivuyela uba nimke apha, niye kwezinye indawo, niyokukhangela amarhiwa alihlaza. Kodwa inkcubeko eniyifumene apho nisuka khona, niyibuyise niyizise kuthi apho sihlala khona. Ngoku ndiyahalalisa namhlanje, ndiphakamisa iflegi emhlophe, ndithi halala N9, ndithi halala Songezo. Ngendikubonga nangesiduko uba bendikwazi. Andikubongi wedwa ke, ndibonga kuba ndisazi niyayibona ne? Ezilapha ndithe enkosi ukuzisisela obu-education. Thina simamela ke ngaphezu kwabantwana bazawucofa ifowuni nabo bayibhale efowunini, thina sayigcina engqondweni. Ndifuna ke ze siyibambe yonke le nto. Mama ka-9 mmelwane wam, ndicela sihambe siyofika phaa siphinde soyidiliza kodwa wena sowuyazi. Ndifuna ukuthi kuni nonke bethunani, ndivuyela ukuba nisizisele le nto apha size ngayo. Andifuni kukunaba kuba lokhu ndizase ndiyithethe wrong, umntu ozawuthetha emveni kwam ayithethe ngale ndlela irayithi. Kuthiwe yho hayi laa khansila walaa ndawo wasuka wathetha into engadibenanga. Ngoku ke andifuni udwela kakhulu ke enkokheli yam, mandime nje kuloo ndawo. Enkosi.
Thank you very much. Can you please give her another round of applause? Thank you, Yaye. Thank you. I'm going home to die no more. 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 Hallelujah. We are at a stage now where sizawucela ke a beneficiary of this occasion, uSongezo Mhambi, azo kuba ne input. Maybe this input will clarify better than me what do we mean by the contribution of CSIR and UNDP. Yeah, acknowledge ke i-presence yes formations zoyithuzi lapha. They acknowledge, however, i-presence of each and every formation ekhoyo apha in terms of the organs. I'm aware into about different formations are here, which are participants, which are role players in terms of business. These are agents of social change coming from the dungeons of poverty in the old regime pre-1994. Midaka bungasoze uyive ithetha ngolu hlobo in the past administration, but this new administration has opened new avenues in terms of business for abantu bakuthi bakwazi ukuba exposed. Beka kahle ke uceba walawati uthi we sent you elsewhere in South Africa to acquire knowledge. Ndake ndavuma into esithi knowledge is power. If uthetha ungekho knowledgeable ngalento uthetha ngayo uyafana ngathi awuqondi, but knowledge is power. The reason ndandifuna kwenzakala nditye nexesha man bendike ndatsho ndandiumuntu obundwebarha andifuni songeza ulimosha ixesha lakho nditye nakweli lakho, but ndizawumane ndiyigqibezela as we move along. There is a reason eyabangela into yokokuba i-Africans zihabarishe the Hebrews for almost 400 years. There was a specific reason. uThixo wayefuna one babe knowledge, babe nationhood. Number 3 nzamtsiba deliberately, but number 4 it was for the Israelites or the Hebrews or the Jews to acquire wealth. Bantu base Africa sithi abantu ababafundisa izinto. Mhlawumbe ndiyinarrate as we go along. Knowledge of mina kapha eAfrica. Nabantu abagcina uYesu for 6 years efuna ubulawa ngapha enantsike neMesopotamia with the Africans. We harbored to Jesus Christ for almost 6 years. Ngela xesha wayezalwa ithi incwadi wazalwa eBethlehem emhlabeni estalini samashi, but when he went back home ithi incwadi wabuya ngendlela entsha yaseNazareth. Hence he was called Jesus the Nazarene. You may not understand what I'm trying to narrate as of now, but as we go along, sizayi-unpacka le ndiphinde icace. Nihambile ke mhambi sisithi banothatha knowledge. That knowledge is springboard sayo into yoba siwubone umdantsane mobile ukwi footage le kuthiwa yinantsika yi-photo stage wenyuka wakwi-tortoise footage le uhamba uthe chu ngoku ingathi ufuna uhamba ngamandla. I-springboard ephakuthi ewadini kwa-ward 30 NU9 or emdantsane ko-15. Lento mayishayine iwugqiba umdantsane if needs be igqiba i-Eastern Cape yonke nibe prosperous as you go along. Ingadenzini nanodwa ze nibheke phambili ithathe nezinye formations zipartnerishe nani going forward siyilibone utshintsho lusenzeka. You may come uzoba ne-input yakho ke Mr. Songezo Mhambi. Ndazi ke nobo watsho la mama masimncediseni thina sithi kuzoba nje hey kube nje hey masithandaza
Good morning. Wow, it's finally happening. Indeed, Bishop, you are right. Knowledge is power. It's what gives us that thrill of speaking with authority. You can't speak with authority without knowledge. Let's talk about knowledge a little bit. Uma Moyikwa was talking about, leaving home and acquiring knowledge from places afar. But the most important thing is what you do with that knowledge that you acquire. And, I think I left East London in 2011. bit of both. When I spent about, I think, 10 to 15 years in the corporate world, acquiring that knowledge. When I came back, there's significance to this story that I'm telling. When I came back, I joined a small engineering firm here in East London, Flatfoot Engineering. When I joined this firm, it was just an ordinary SMME, finding their fit, but their founder, a very visionary gentleman, was here today. I had done quite a bit of work on that company. We worked together for about 3 years. 3 years, yes. And it's just unfortunate that Ravi Mutli is not here today. There is significance behind me inviting both of them here. Because when the time came and I had to tell them that, look, I think my work here is done, I need to leave, because we had taken that business from where it was during that 3-year period. We tripled its turnover in 3 years. We got it 3 business awards in 3 years. And we got it invited to about 6 international events in that 3 years. And we had completely digitized that whole business. It went paperless. All this work happened in the 3 years that we worked hand in hand together. That is why I'm going to say that the presence of Mr. Max Maputi, and I had hoped Mr. Ravi Mutli as well, their presence here is not by default or obvious, because he's also my friend and my older brother. I consider him my older brother and mentor as well. Their presence here is not just obvious. It is deliberate, and it is significant. Because they had asked a question when I left that company, why are you leaving? I said, well, my work is done. And the question that followed was, what are your plans? Well, Bramex, I think it's time that I confessed I had no plans. I didn't know where the hell I was going. But I knew that my work there was done, because I had done what I had set out to do for Flatfoot Engineering. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just acknowledge the presence of Mr. Max Maputi, who is here with us today. That gentleman and Mr. Ravi Mutli in his absence, these are the people who fine-tuned my business and executive skills towards the end of what I call my 15-year apprenticeship in the corporate world. They fine-tuned it. They fine-tuned it. And they prepared me for this very moment. So, Bramex, now I can tell you, this is why I left. Now, Umdantsane Mobile. I never tire of telling this story. I think some of the people have not heard this story yet. Some who were listening to Mhlobo Wenene last week heard that story. Some who have listened to my previous media interviews, BCM TV, Keith Ngesi, Wild Coast Radio, and all the people who have come to see us know that story, because I always repeat that story of where this really originated. I know what Dr. Mfupe made us, and they say, hey, these guys are organized, you already have towers and all these things here. Oh, trust me, that's not where it began. It began in the backyard, in my grandmother's backyard. There's a back room there where Umdantsane Mobile was born. And it was not just born in that room. I had to share half of my bed with this company. My bed was cut in half, and the network was lying right there on my bed. I had to train myself how to sleep for 3 months, because the network had to sit there. And abantu basemdantsane shem beconnecta kule nto bencoma baya noba iphezu kwebhedi. When in March, when we started upgrading and professionalizing the business, and we put it up on professional towers, we had all these fancy systems. Before that, even these Wi-Fi vouchers were written with a pen on my diary, and I would cut it out and give it to the person, take the 20 rand. That's where this company was born. And that was 2 years ago. That has been our journey. There are people who are here today, and also their presence as well is quite significant. We've got who principal wasezana uKhanya is here. We've got iPhakamile Junior Primary Nevula Mazbuko are represented. I called them here. We've got Uchuma Sunday Holdings. Mr. Bapati Mene is here. These are people who believed in this brand when no one else did. These are our business clients. And so I said, they can't be absent. I need to share this moment with them because otherwise it will be empty. And then I've got my soldiers, my family. One of them is actually now deep within Mdantsane Mobile uKhanya, who holds the fort even when I'm not around. My mother couldn't be here, but I've got my other mother, Ndambiso Ndema's mother. Ndambiso is my business partner, who also couldn't be here, but his mother is here today. I've got my niece, Umpaza. These are people who would wash the dishes at the office while my mother brings cups for all the people who are volunteering to work. It's that support system that I've got. That's what brought me here. Now, where does UNDP and CSIR fit into the picture? At the risk of exaggerating, because uceba wethu naye ulapha kufuneka ngoku seyiqalile le nto wathi yawa-9 le nto sonza kugibisela nawe yawa-9 nangoku. There was a call that went out from the CSIR inviting SMMEs, ISPs, internet service providers who are still growing, and those who were planning on becoming ISPs, to present proposals and convince the CSIR and the UNDP that their neighborhoods or townships or villages deserved to be the ones to deploy TV white space technology. What is TV white space technology? TV white space technology, if you remember, the government has been saying a lot about the digital migration, television migration, where we're gonna stop using the analog TVs and start using digital TVs. I know some of us who are clever, 90% of this country is already on DSTV, but there are still some people who are using those aerials as old aerials. So the scientists said, and they researched this, and they found that, because the question was asked, what are we going to do with all those frequencies that were being used by that old technology? And it was found that we can actually use this to deploy internet, and they have advantages, because TV white space helps us when it comes to areas that are rural, because you no longer need to be able to see the tower to connect a village. Even if you don't see it, you are behind a mountain, the TV white space will cut through that mountain and connect that village. I am doing my best to explain this in layman terms so that when we walk away today, we understand why we were here, what this is all about. That's what TV white space is. So we had to convince the CSIR. I'm told, Uprof told me they received how many proposals? Over 100. So I need you to understand how special Mdantsane is, because out of 100 proposals, Mdantsane became one of the 4 who were chosen. Of course, that fight was spearheaded by UMDAS Wi-Fi. So we won that. We began to deploy. Today we are here officiating that network in saying that it is now live and we are ready to use it. That is why we are here today. So ECSIR is the facilitator of this project under the leadership of Dr. Luzango Mfupe. And the UNDP is the funder. And Ms. Clarissa Moodley is here representing the UNDP. She will be speaking here later as well. I won't say thanks yet because I see I'm appearing twice on that program wearing two hats to say a word of thanks. So I will save my usual inspirational speeches and charismatic speeches for that part of the occasion if you will still be here. So get your tissues ready. Thank you.
Zange ndaxakwa andahlukanga phaa kuThixoloshe ngoku kwakumnandi wathi uThixoloshe andixakiwe noba ndiye koomama ndawufika koomama ndifika kumnandi ndiye kootata ndifike kumandi ndisike ndayindindi. I'm saying I'm in between the world of technology and those who are being taught on board so that they can understand what is happening going forward. Thank you, Songezo. Without wasting time, I steamroller the program so that singawaste ixesha elininzi. And also, no pinda ustress acknowledge because this is your own family. You know this family even far better than us. Ne? You are familiar with this family. I'm not talking the family the family a corporate world is now up in our midst. Let's move on ke nje siye kwi project purpose and expected impact ne sayenzelwa ke nguDr. F Mekuria kunye noGqirha Umfuphe from UCSIR bakhona. And yazi ke noba ke doc ke uneziphindonga kanye you don't mind indaba yenduku. Dudukuzame. In order to save time ndukuyeke. Oh, I ke uthi mandimiyeke ke ndizamiyeka ku doctor. Oh, you are not there. No, I was saying I want to entice you with a South African traditional song where we can, yeah, but in order to save time, let us not go that route, man. No, we won't have time. Maybe by the time it's your finito, I'll simply finalize that part. Yeah. All right, thanks a lot.
Good afternoon, everyone, because it is above 12. My name is Fasaha Mekuria, and I am one of the chief researchers at the CSIR. And CSIR does a whole lot of research, but recently we have realized that all the research that we do should impact society. So with that aim, we collaborated with UNDP and discussing with the UNDP chiefs, we came up with this project. And myself and Dr. Mfupe sat down and wrote the proposal with the UNDP counterparts and got that project rolling. And then as Songezo mentioned, we have to follow the rules of the game. We have to see all the SMMEs all over South Africa to compete and get the project implementation rolling out. So we are very happy that Mdantsane has become one of those who won, and we are happy. This is my second time to come to Mdantsane now, and we are happy to see you all. And I was supposed to speak about the purpose of this project. the purpose of this project is, as the Reverend mentioned, we need to have a purpose on what we do. Even for our life, we need a purpose. And the purpose of the project is to enable and empower the rural communities. I remember the first discussion that I had with the regional representative for the UNDP. We sat down on dinner informally, and we are thinking, how do you think about the rural communities? How do they fare in this COVID situation? How they feel, digitally excluded? So that was one of the motivations that resulted to this project also. So we need to have a purpose in life, and the purpose of this project is to make sure that we have affordable broadband to rural communities, because most of the societal services nowadays are running over the internet, over the digital connectivity. So that is the reason that we have, and we are happy that this commissioning is happening here in Mdansana, and we have other 3 more commissioning that to do, and we are happy with our partners from the UNDP, and we believe that the lessons that we learn from Mdansana can help us, reach out also to other rural communities, because it's not only in South Africa. I come myself from Ethiopia. I see most of the rural areas are excluded from the digital connectivity, from the digital economy that is coming up. So I believe that Mdansana Mobile will have a lot of markets now learning from this lessons that we have now with the deployment here. They will be able to roll out also networks all over Africa, in my opinion. Thank you. Thank you for listening to this. I leave the floor now to Dr. Luzango also to come up.
As per instruction, as per order, you are being summoned at once, CEO Tanzania Mobile, Tanzania Wi-Fi, Mr. Mohammed Songez, to come and receive this certificate which confirms that indeed we are on board going forward. A round of applause, please.
Thank you. I would like to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Councillor, colleagues from the PBICT, Black Business Forum, CEDA, Ms. Maudley from UNDP. So what I'm going to do here is very simple, just handing over the ownership of the network infrastructure that we have built for Mdansana Mobile. Thank you very much.
Ayeye Mdansana Mobile, ayeye. Ayeye. Forward. So I am not good in Telugu, Hindu, or whatever. What we can offer. Song is one of the reverence in our country. Zwela kowethu uxolelizo nozalo ungathobi ngqumbo yakho luze lifisa polwakho. Technologically, Reverend Tiosoka was saying, please God, put your eyes in the African kid so that your anger does not come to the African kid, but educate and change the ways of life of an African kid. I think in summary, that's what, can you give me a Dishai man, can you net? Dishai.
Good morning, everyone. It's really an exciting day for us as UNDP, the United Nations Development Programme of South Africa. I'm privileged and honored to be here today to participate in this event with you. You know, it's been a long time coming, and we're really proud to be here, to be part of these activities, and you know, we're looking forward to more events of this nature as we proceed with this journey. So a special greeting is extended to the following distinguished guests: the representatives from the Office of the Mayor, the Office of the Premier, and Local Council, the Black Business Forum, Progressive Blacks in Information and Communication Technology, PBICT, the Small Enterprise Development Agency, and the Eastern Cape Development Corporation. I wish to extend greetings from the resident representative of the United Nations Development Programme. Due to conflicting engagements, Dr. Ayodele Odusola could not be here today. However, he sends his best wishes. We are here today celebrating a significant milestone in the UNDP CSIR partnership, enabling internet access to this community. Both partners are witnessing the fruition of our joint efforts to help South Africa bridge the digital divide and ensure equal opportunities for everyone. Mdinsane is the first of 4 communities to be a part of this first phase of our joint project. UNDP South Africa extends its appreciation to the government of Japan for supporting this work. Without the financial assistance of the Japanese government, this project would not have been possible. UNDP and CSIR embarked on this project in 2020. The project was initiated at a time when South Africa was devastated by the onset of the global COVID-19 pandemic. Like the rest of the world, the South African government took all measures to protect the lives and livelihoods of its citizens. The United Nations Development Programme undertook key projects to support the South African government as it prepared for, responded to, and continues to recover from COVID-19. As part of its COVID-19 response, UNDP implemented several projects to support national government and local communities through this difficult time. Some of our projects included an assessment of the socio-economic impact of COVID-19 in South Africa to support better planning and recovery, strengthening of national health systems through the procurement of personal protective equipment and laboratory equipment, support of national and sub-national capacities for planning, coordination, and crisis management, an assessment of the social and governance implications of Africa, a rapid needs assessment for South Africa, strengthening vulnerable micro and small businesses to recover from the pandemic, improving water access, water quality, and water provisioning through innovation activities, ensuring food security through the implementation of sustainable household gardens in KZN, and supporting both informal and formal businesses in the clothing and textile industry to manufacture fabric masks. These were but some of the program interventions implemented by UNDP South Africa to address the developmental impacts of COVID-19 and safeguard progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals. UNDP South Africa continued to support the United Nations 2030 Agenda, the achievement of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. In its role as the SDG integrator, UNDP continues to design and implement cross-cutting, innovative projects that can advance the SDGs. The anchor of UNDP's newly launched country program for 2020 to 2025 is all about youth and women's empowerment and employment, serving as the bedrock for reducing poverty, inequality in South Africa. The country program focuses on 3 thematic areas, which include inclusive, just, and sustainable economic growth, efficient, effective, and transformative governance, and climate resilience and sustainably managed resources. UNDP views innovation as a key in overcoming South Africa's many developmental challenges. There is a need for new, unusual ways of solving problems. Business as usual no longer works. UNDP has introduced the new UNDP Accelerator Lab, which actively seeks, tests, and scales new innovations, and most importantly, aims to accelerate progress on the sustainable goal. And here we are today witnessing one of these projects. UNDP undertook a socio-economic impact assessment, and several findings came to light. One of it included female-headed households being more likely to fall into poverty than male-headed households. That unemployment will increase, with between 47,000 and as many as 80,000 people losing their jobs last year. Poverty levels will continue to rise by between 0.45% up to 0.66%, and more households will be vulnerable to shocks like COVID-19. Additionally, we saw a drastic and sudden shift to online and digital engagement across the world, across sectors, and across business types, ranging from large corporations to small businesses. It has been strongly argued that access to technology and digitization, including universal access to the internet, are regarded as human rights issues, since they redefine access to work, income, and schooling during COVID-19. Statistics South Africa indicated that only 59% of South African households had access to the internet, implying that almost half the population lack access to internet. The survey also showcased that mobile devices were used to access the internet and making it much more accessible to households in rural areas. Interventions by the South African government, such as the direct fiscal support or tax breaks to SMMEs, are shown to support business continuity, including being able to afford access to broadband internet, which is vital to promote their products, for businesses to promote their products online. However, the high cost of data and internet access remains an obstacle for many businesses to move towards digitization of operations, as well as gaining access to online financing and services. Thus, the provision of affordable internet access, particularly in rural areas with limited digital infrastructure, is expected to play a role in South Africa's economic recovery by enabling SMMEs to shift towards digital operations. It is with this backdrop in mind and a desire to narrow the widening digital divide and reduce inequality, poverty, and unemployment that UNDP has financed the pilot of CSIR's TV White Space Technology and SMME Support Program. The project will enable internet connectivity to 2,400 users via public facilities and an additional 1,600 users via public hotspots. Additional communities in KZN, the Free State, and the Western Cape will form part of this pilot. This project supports the several initiatives led by the South African government to fulfill this demand. Without ICT access, even more people would fall into poverty as a result of being unable to access the new way of work. The United Nations in South Africa has embraced the local sphere of government as an engine for bottom-up development through the district development model. Part of this includes digital skills development. With this infrastructure, opportunities to broaden digital skills in Mdantsane and support youth development must be exploited. By supporting local SMME network operators, the project envisions that a range of services will be made possible within the selected pilot communities. These may include rural school connectivity, distance learning, remote information services in the health education sector, the Internet of Things, which includes smart agriculture or smart villages, telemedicine, and e-finances. The support of the local community of Mdantsane is vital to ensure long-term success of this project. In this regard, we urge the local community to take ownership of the project and protect it so that its benefits are seen long into the future. According to the South African SDG Investor Map launched by UNDP last year, digital connectivity is a priority investment area and represents both a major development need to overcome South Africa's triple threat. As part of UNDP's endeavor to leave nobody behind, UNDP South Africa recently committed additional financial resources to scale this pilot project, expanding internet access through TV white space technology and with the CSIR to an additional 10 communities across South Africa. This demonstrates our commitment to the cause. As a development organization, UNDP extends an invitation to other partners, such as the Eastern Cape Development Corporation, to foster strategic partnerships and secure additional resources to ensure low-cost internet is rolled out to more communities within this province. In conclusion, UNDP South Africa wishes for this project to touch the lives of those who need it the most. The hope is that this project goes beyond the provision of physical access, but empowers people to become proficient computer users, improve literacy, enhances access to social, educational, and economic opportunities that may have otherwise been unavailable. In so doing, this project is envisioned to create innovative and exciting new opportunities that will uplift all and transform South Africa to become a more equitable and prosperous society. I wish you a successful launch and fruitful engagements going forward. Thank you.
You know, there is a saying that the early bird catches the, yeah. Now, as we move forward, I'm squeezed. I'm squeezed in terms of the schedule of this whole session. Bear with me, the speakers which are going to follow. I'm going to dictate terms now. I'm squeezing everybody into 10 minutes. You know, when Mandela knew that it's going to take long, I think it was the 50th conference of the ANC, he started to greet people, and then the first page was just meant for greetings and acknowledgements. And then he said, we are going to skip page 2, page 3, page 4, until he reaches page 25. And then the conference began to say, what are we here for? He said, I'm on my way to India. I must finish this presidential report or the organizational report. Ladies and gentlemen, now, I think you are beginning to reach the crux of the matter now, the partnership. You know, Mr. Bigicha Simpiwe, who's a presentation on e-network installation. I think that's where now Mdantsane Mobile is beginning to extend a hand to other formations so that kuzosetshenziswa ukhona uSimpiwe Bigicha. Is he around in our midst? Oh, this old man. I thought Simphiwe Bikitsha is a young man like me. Eh? I was looking for a very, very, very young, hefty man like me. He's so handsome, very handsome. No, man, I'm not just going to sokol senangengoma and waste ixesha lakho ne. Let me not do that. Noba kuske kuthi mandigeze ndigeze kuthi mandigeze nkosana nam. Eh? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm not sure whether I should use my very wide voice. Can you guys hear me? Okay, it's not working. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me? Thank you very much. My name is Simphiwe Bikitsha from Morai. Morai is basically the company that's been involved in installing TV white space, especially here in Umdantsane. We'd love to thank CSIR and NDP for involving us in this amazing project. As installers, we move around the country and we get to see exactly what TV white space, how TV white space has the potential to change people's lives. I spend most of my days either 30 meters above the ground or 10 meters above the ground, and I've learned a couple of things whilst I visit certain townships, that there's a difference between Wi-Fi about this 5G, how it's bringing us diseases. And when you're watching on top of that pole and you can see people gathering underneath the pole, trust me, ladies and gentlemen, it is not a wonderful experience. Because what is happening now is that they are considering burning this pole. So saying that you are installing 5G or trying to explain anything to that effect, one has to be very, very sensitive about that. It is sad, because you know what you're here for. You're here to empower communities, you know, and I think we need to use these platforms like Facebook and the rest in a positive manner to educate each other. It just does not make sense for us to connect all these radios, which I have a potential to change people's lives, that due to people not understanding, you might lose your life in the process. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here telling you everything about Obvious, but I would love to once again just mention that we are very, very, very grateful and thankful to Songezo and his team. I know that we came through and we disrupted their services, disrupting the time with their clients. We're thankful that they've been very patient with us, and hopefully we've also, as our team, shared a bit of knowledge as well with his team, you know, in terms of connecting the new tech that we've been working on, the blue towns, erecting poles, solar panels, you know, sharing a bit of knowledge with them with what TV white space is all about, and we learning from them as well. And I must say, you know, that's why it's doing an amazing job. Yes, we frustrate them with our Cambians, but we're getting there. We're getting there, especially when we see the lights turn blue, red. Is it turned on? And everybody's holding their head. No, it hasn't turned on. As you all know, that devices can disappoint you. A radio can seem to be working perfectly the 1 minute, the next minute, everything can be dead. As is the case now, apparently, OpenServe has just gone down, but our guys have just rushed off to go on site to sort out the matter. I hope by now people of Umdantsane will also get to understand what we as Morai and Daswa is trying to do. When they see us erecting poles, hanging next to their homes, invading their space, we just ask for a little bit more patience. Hopefully we are going to get this right. very soon. At the moment, we're also busy in the KZN. Very, very rough terrain. Tanzania has been one of our, if I can call it, easier environments to work around. Maybe it's the support. I don't know, maybe it's just something about Tanzania because our base station never gave us any issues. It was up in a matter of minutes and it has remained stable for the longest time. I'm hoping that in the near future, Songezo will build his company and not only connect people within Tanzania, but the whole of Eastern Cape. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your time. Thank you.
Barry White is saying, we had what we had. Have you ever heard that song? It goes on to say, departing from each other, it's a sweet sorrow. Let's move forward. Benchiloke, ladies and gentlemen, that we are going to steamroll the program. We are left with 40 minutes to finish it. Ne? If we are going to use Mr. Pikicha's pace, the Black Business Forum, Mr. Mafani Bongi, Ms. Mafani Bongi, is going to give us a message of support. Kuti mandigeze ndigeze ndigeze ngosana lam lile lisanel mandigeze ndigeze geze ngosana lam awuyazi lo ngoma kuti mandigeze ndigeze kuti mandigeze ngosana lam. Thank you.
To the UNDP, to the CSR, Tanzania Mobile, all the stakeholders that are involved in this beautiful August occasion, let me take this moment. You see, when sometimes you invite people and you have a lot of church songs and a podium, some of us who are preachers will get here and will turn it around. So I've got to contain myself and tell myself that I'm here to speak on behalf of business. And let me greet the SMMEs, the business fraternity, the honorable councillor amongst us. I know I'm not going through the protocol correctly, but I'm greeting everyone as they are popping into my head. From the Black Business Forum, I can see we have Max Mabuti here, who's been the spearheader of engineering sector. It's good to see you after a long while. And thank you for squeezing us in, Program Director. I'm not going to be long, but I think today is a day of history in making. Not only for business, but particularly for Black business. And in particular, youth-led business. And therefore, that is why when Songezo called, I said, okay, I am nursing my dad, but I'm going to make some time to come and speak on behalf of the forum, because it is exactly what we stand for. It is exactly what we advocate for, that when the government makes pronouncement on the deliverables to the people, to take services to the people, they do not necessarily have the vehicle to do that. They need us, the SMMEs, to come up and carve a niche and identify in wisdom what is it that we can do as business. And that is what we stand for. Not only congratulations and kudos to you, Songezo, but I was hoping we would have a number of young people here who we're going to charge to say, instead of being armchair critics who are not waking up and opening their minds to identify the need and therefore bring about a solution. And we are quite excited about today that Mdantsane will not known only to be the boxing mecca, but as one of the townships, the biggest townships in South Africa, to be the pathfinders of such innovation. At the critical time, I think the madam did mention that it is a critical time of the COVID-19 pandemic when our children need internet the most. You know, our kids who go to Sterling and these schools that are in town, you're not worried much about on where they're going to get internet. But when you begin to think of your Mdantsane and Zipun, and I wish and pray that it can expand, and I'm happy that they've begun to forge partnership already, and not only forge partnerships that are going to service Mdantsane, but go to the entire Eastern Cape, go to the entire country. The country needs such young people. We are tired of reprimanding young people for GBV. We are tired of reprimanding young people for drugs and other things that are not developmental. But when we talk development, let's think, how do we then materialize the township economy that the government is talking about? If they are talking about the smart townships, how then can we convert that? And I'm happy again that we're not here to celebrate a company from elsewhere. It is Mdantsane born, it is servicing Mdantsane, and ultimately it will service the entire Africa. So congratulations from the Black Business Forum. We look forward to forging partnerships with you. We look forward to creating more partnerships in taking you forward. Thank you so much.
Very punctual, even less than that 10 minutes. I'm so delighted. I'm happy, my dear. And as we go along, I take that as a warning. But I'm not easily scared or shied away. In my midst, Dr. Hokma Krepul, Ote Yonke into Senzayo. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. It's a deep political statement. It's not even a religious statement. It's a very, very deep political statement, which is based with thinking Yomdana was Africa. As we go forward, before Specia Kubanza, unpack and don't dictate Bipega Pina. Sikele Mr. Mpamba, Nike Felix, Asinike Genaye from EPBICT, a message of support. I'm instructed to stay on schedule. Thank you very much, my Lord.
Ngosi mhlala ngaphambili. Ngokomo ukuthi umuntu xa emde uba mde xa ithetha. So andiyazi ke le ndlela xesha uba soyithini. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As Base Chelum Ngaphambili, I'm Felix Mbambani, Secretary of PBICT in the Eastern Cape. What is PBICT first, before we go to our member there, Songes? PBICT is Progressive Blacks in Information and Communication Technology. It's a national organization which was formed by our own black SMMEs as the IT, because before this COVID, we were not recognized. But now, as much as the COVID is so bad, it's killing people, but ICT now is recognized, which is good for us. We are growing slowly but surely. We are here today because of one of these things that I've just mentioned. Even in Mdantsane Mobile, it's been here. We've been trying together, no Songes. We've been trying to reach out. We've been wanting to be known out there. But when you say you have an IT company, you are told you are a computer guy. You're going to come and fix our mouse, and that's it. The only people that were recognized in this industry, it's white people. Even today, that's why you hear speakers that are here, they're saying, it's good that we're not celebrating anyone who's coming from outside. No, we are here, we can do these things, we can develop this software, we know these things. But the problem is, if I take this document and put it to my fellow leader and say, I can do my software can be able to monitor your water, who is wasting water, where and how. Have you ever tried this anywhere? Is it working? No, I haven't. You are going to be my first client. No, you need to bring references and all that. But now when a white person comes, they don't even ask. They put it in, they try it. And
for your surprise, you find that this white person will ask you to go and be the administrator of that actual system, which is a big problem. So, CSIR, we thank you for allowing us with NDP and UNDP to come and recognize us as small black businesses. We can own networks. If you remember a long time ago, we would know that the only people that can provide internet is Telkom. If Telkom is down, then we are out. Where I come from, I'm from Engcobo. But in the Mthatha, my business is there in Mthatha. We have a huge problem there. That's why I would like UNDP, I would challenge them, in fact, together with CSIR to assist us to get more licenses from ICASA so that we can assist SMMEs. I will tell you a simple example. If now someone here drives to Tsofimvaba or Elliot, when you get there, you find that there's no network. But the network, on the road when you are driving there, you saw someone cutting a pole there. They are cutting this pole that is pulling the fiber cable to that actual town. Now when you get there, there's no network, but the problem is if Telkom is not there, then the town is down, the whole town, your banks, your departments, your everything. So we really thank CSIR for coming up with this program. We have so many SMMEs on PBICT. Eastern Cape, we have about 355 members who are software developers. Some of them have licenses. But Usongezo is one of our top members in terms of the licensing side, which is the internet service side. We are very grateful to have Umdofana Nosongezo in our organization, and also he's also part of the executive of the provincial executive at PBICT. So we really thank Ugba Nomdofana. Now he's quiet, he's very quiet, but when he speaks, you can feel that, oh, hey, why have you been so quiet such a long time? I know him from a long time ago. We did electrical engineering together. We changed. But I went to my side, he went to his side, we changed, and then we did IT. And then we meet again. So Songezo we are very proud of this initiative. We are very proud. We want Mdantsane Mobile to go out of Mdantsane, go out there, and also there's this company, I just want to check the name again. Is it Morai? Ne? Morai, please, we have SMMEs here. We're also working with SA Connect. These people have experience in terms of how to build network, how to build towers, how to connect PAN, and so please, I would like to have contacts with you so that we can be able to add value to this project by also capacitating the SMMEs in the province, because all that database is sitting in my office. People that they're not working, they have skills, they have everything. So please, I would like us to assist you on that. Just the last one before I sit down. Please, we really need to have these licenses for ICASA. We would like you guys to assist us. Thank you very much.
Ngicela siphinde simphi round of applause. As we move forward, Songezo, ensimini ukuvuna ingathi kuninzi. In a nutshell, what he was saying is that you have a prerogative, you have a responsibility as Mdantsane Mobile of moving into rural areas. By so doing, it's not only the surroundings of the interlink, which is East London, Metropoli, or the Buffalo City. Elsewhere in Transkei, you have a mammoth task of changing lives. Zabantu bakuthi. Indeed, you are the agents of social change. We are now moving to a township economy and development SMMEs. Sizawucela ke from KwaSida, Mr. Maqhubela Duma, azosinika eyakhe i-input. I-reason yokokuba eziba esiza, i-reason eyabangela into yoba kuthathwe 400 years was to educate the foreigners ngendlela yethu yokuphila. I think I'm done. No.
Molweni Mtanzana. Ninjani? Sikhona mandi time kancinci nje elixesha ndilibekelwe ukwenzela uba ningaculelwa. Ayingoduma Maqhubela lona nguSiphiwo kaSoga. UDuma Maqhubela uye wenza laa nto kuthiwa ku-delegator upwards. He is my district manager. Mna ndiyintloko yephondo yalo mzi walapha eSida apha eMpuma Koloni. I'm not going to be long. I would have loved ukuba ndingumuntu othi kwi-situation enjena enomashishini nokopolotyeni ndikhe ndirhabulise, but some of the things ebendizipreparishile for ukurhabulisa andizuba sangena apho ngenxa yexesha, but it is basically my objective to make sure that ndishiya abantu benento abaziphetheyo osomashishini nokopolotyeni. But ke program director andizukuba mdenza bamqaso. Ujwarha lona umtiki umazaleni ujotela ukhonwana udolo limdaka ngenxa yothandaza. Akukhange kubekho need yenduku because ulizalisa idinga ngowakho wethu wayibhalwa nguTiyolo Soga lobuthetha ngaye mna ke ndiyinzalelwane yakhona. So intonga seyikhona seyingaphambili. Ndifuna nje ukusebenzisa this opportunity to demystify lo mzi wakwaSida. I will use this opportunity ngeli xesha landinalo just to demystify ukuba uSida lo yintoni na. Then ke akhona nje amazwana amancinci endizawuqaphula kuyo xa ndiyotshaya. A lot of people uSida xa bebona uSida babona two things, babona i-business plan, babona i-marketing material. That's a lot of people. A number of people they don't understand the organization. And when you don't understand the organization, you lose opportunity to exploit the opportunities on us or for support from the organization. So in most cases, a person will come to one of my offices, athi hayi mna torho bendizocela i-business plan. Ingathi kusevenkileni kukho i-business plan uzawuvela uyithathe from the shelf. Omnye afika athi hayi ndizowufuna i-marketing material, i-signage and all of that. I'm going to be very much brief in terms of a number of e-offerings esinazo ndizawutsiba ndizawuba mqazumbela program director. Eyokuqala, which is very important, yes, siyenza i-business plan because of supporting clients for access to finance, basically. So i-business plan in most cases is not something that we want you to keep Parkla drawer 13th, but it's something that we usually support you for funding. Naturally, I don't want to be taken wrongly. Business plan is not only for funding. The business plan as well is for strategy, for covering your strategy in terms of going forward for the organization as a lot, and a lot in terms of that. And some companies these days don't even want a business plan. They want just a concept plan to check if banai appetite for the idea that you have, or a marketing plan for growth of your organization, etc. So basically, we basically, yes, do that. And then we do a lot of access to markets, which is very, very important element of business growth. We take a lot of entities to local markets, Grocer Home, Grahamstown. We take a lot of companies to the Grahamstown Festival. We take them to the Renshaw. We take a number of clients to international and African shows. Number of examples in terms of companies that we support in terms of that. And then access to technology, very, very important element of a growth strategy, because in most cases, when you have to scale up your business, you definitely need to scale up technology so that you can produce much more than what you are doing. And it's one of the main elements as well in terms of how to grow your business. Because if, for example, when this dinner and ubusoloko unikezela ngazo, uthengisela ngazo apha ebahlalini, in-numbers zakho naturally there won't be much. But when you start going to a hardware, and the hardware ithi hayi mina ndifuna ubonakho undenzela izidena 1 million ngekota, then you need to have equipment then that will scale you up. But to that as well, key is then the standards. Therefore, your neighbor xa umthengele izitena akazubuza uba esi sitena sichekishiwe i-strength saso for i-SABS. And for scaling up your business, then when you want to go towards, for example, growing your business, those are some of the issues that are very important. And we've got a fund that is called TTF internally, but it's actually basically standing for Technology Transfer Fund that is kept at 600,000, but it's for manufacturing. And in Dukomnquma, but in T's and C's apply. Main T's are you must be A, in manufacturing, B, you must have your financials for 2 years, you must have been in business for 2 years. A number of companies in the Eastern Cape, we have supported them in terms of that. And as I say, Yindukomnquma, grant in the true sense, awuphinde ube namali ozaphinde uyibuyise. See, we look as well in terms of Okopolokian and cooperatives, cooperative governance. Remember, cooperatives, they are actually not governed by the Companies Act. There is a special act that talks to them, and the cooperatives, for example, when you audit them, there is what is called your social audit other than your financial audit. There is a constitution that has to be developed, etc. So we do that in terms of that. Manbaleke kakhulu ndiyabona ixesha liyandihlafuna. Quality and standards as well. I think I spoke in terms of Klaben Tetange SABS approval. Efficiency, turnaround strategies in terms of your business. Things are not going well, and therefore we are able to do a turnaround, and it's one of my passionate sort of areas as well, and my specialization areas because I'm a consultant by profession. Training and development as well. We do training for what we technically call the horse and the jockey meaning the leader of the organization or the CEO. And then we do training as well, including staff. Business incubation, which is sector specific. We've got 9 incubators in the province, which are basically more looking in terms of trying to alleviate the challenges that are happening. And it's not a South African phenomenon, it's a global phenomenon. A lot of companies within the first 3 years, 80% of them, they go down. And there's a number of reasons for that, because you plow a lot of money, but when it comes to your sales, the timing is not going congruent, and therefore in most cases a lot of businesses will go down. And B, a lot of people go into business with their technical skill, and business development services like managing people, like finance and everything, they become a challenge. So it becomes very, very important then to upscale businesses with regards to that. Coaching and mentorship, very, very important, where we develop, if we don't have the skill in-house, we actually do what we call outsource it and get a mentor that will walk you through in terms of your sector, particularly with regards to the technical skills that you would basically develop. Financial management, very, very important. A lot of businesses go down because a lot of business people don't have an eyes hawk in terms of their finances. They don't understand costing, which is very, very, very much important. And therefore, your price, you're not clear in terms of what's happening with regards to that. So we also do a lot in terms of that. Compliance, very, very important. A lot of businesses, they go down because sometimes you will find 3-4 years down the line, the SARS knock at your door and says you owe us 3 million. And you're down. So it's very, very important to make sure that the issue of compliance, you follow it at the beginning of the business. Business incubation, I spoke about that, which is basically our way of trying to make sure that at least that first 3 years, it's what I call, and it's my own technical sort of thing, it's umfula wethu zilokufa for SMMEs no kopolokeni, because a lot of them fail in terms of that. And our incubation program is looking in terms of making sure. One of the things on my way to go into Ochaya program director, one of the opportunities that I want to leave you with in terms of our new government, that I want you to look at as an opportunity, is localization. The new government is very much into localization. The 6th administration is into localization. You must look at opportunities where you will replace imports and do them locally. And in particular with Omama, there is a special 40% from government that is actually put aside for procurement for women. Great opportunity. It goes across what the government, procures, and government is one of the biggest procurers in terms of the country. Huge opportunity there to look in terms of things that you can actually manufacture locally, vis-a-vis imports from the various parts of the world. Township and rural program, we've got a special program that is running in terms of that, where we're driving a lot of entities. And the issue is that it doesn't have to be small things coming from the township, because it's about the dream and making sure that you follow your dream. You can still have your head office in the township and keep it there, whilst you can grow and be a national company. With regards to that, so we have programs that are looking in terms of that. Can share things of thought. St. Francis, umthandazo ka-St. Francis, I say, Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is actually hatred, I must really always sow. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternity. Now to Johabela, because
uCwethe ndimchanile. Yabona uba ndimchanile kuCwethe. Ke kade uyosoka. It also concurs with the 30% mos where community in each and every developmental projects which are coming into our communities. Lento ye women emancipation and the fund in business, see confused being at 40%. We are no longer talking about the local 30%, which is enjoyed by women in our local structures. Mandikriteke. And are we not confusing issues here? As a speaker, Eastern Cape Development Corporation, is he around in our midst? Is he or she around in our midst? Impact on the same issue. I don't know whether Tlambi is double packing up. Township Economy and Development of SMMEs, but from the now, the other leg here, Eastern Cape Development Corporation. Uba ke sikweso stage, akekho, sifikelele steamrolling program yethu sizobiza ke uMdantsane Mobile. Usenze the closing remark and vote of thanks, but before we go there, let's go back to that African issue. See, finalize. Awuzuphinda uvome umuntu wakwalizwe ozayithetha njengami. Kukho intombi enamabele amahle amileyo zonke izizwe zijonge kuyo. Ngoba pha kuyo kukho ubuncwane kukho ubumnandi, yiAfrika leyo. Africa ine gold, ine diamond, ine silver, ine platinum, it has got everything. But if final end result as a processing ngokwethu because of its dispossession, the question is land. If you don't own land, your land is owned by certain individuals overseas. The 400 years year oppression in Africa of the Hebrews, specifically by the Egyptians, it's not true. These people were not persecuted for almost 400 years. In fact, they undergone a class of knowledge for 400 years. One to pass a class yobuzwe. They become a nation of Hebrews by virtue of being exposed in African ways. They become educated by having Moses educated in the palace of Egypt. And he became a prince and a chief soldier. He conquered Ethiopia under the name of Egypt. That's Africa. 3, the riches of Africa. When iBhayibhile isithi xa behamba kuthiwa nizahamba nantoni bathi sawamba nesilver negolide nonyana nentombi zethu namaxhego, everybody is going to depart from Africa to the land of milk and honey. They had gold abayithathe Africa. Eli lizwe sikhule lityebile. That's why wonke umuntu engxamele ukuze Africa. If you go to Angola, we've got oil. We do not refine at our own disposal. If you go north in Nigeria, we've got oil. You come to South Africa, almost every natural resource is here at our disposal. Blessed is South Africa. Divided is African kid. Deliberately, once you divide and rule us, sizawulibala thina zi-divisions. I-prosperity yelizwe lakuthi yona ibe iyemka. With those few vocabs, masivumelaneni into yoba thina singabantu abanobubele, into esibethisayo thina sibethiswa yi-humility lesinayo. Ngeli xesha silibelela ububele ilizwe liyemka, wakwathi umqhayi ngenye imini ziyemka inkomo magwalandini. Esa statement is deep, it's a political statement. This is a turnaround strategy of taking what was dispossessed from us. Technologically now it's coming with an African child. They are bringing it back. Let us embrace it and keep it. Siqinisekise ukuthi until the last kid who's at school must be informed in terms of technology. If you empower a kid, we are empowering a nation. Masiqhubeni ke lo nantsika lo program lo hlobo songezo sithembele kuni bafundini. Our time has come and it's about to lapse. It's about to lapse. It's your time. Filter this down to the toddlers so that like in China, when besenza handwork benza inyathi iziswe Africa. They are going to make whatever type of a technology in terms of making their cars, but the way about technologically informed ngayo, whatever they do, bazase regard thina as a third world, bayizise good. Let our own kids in the next, and funukuya ke klento iti 1987 uFidel Castro hayi man mamoyiko mandiyeke le nto ni ifuna undonzakalisa because ithetha ngalento le technology. 1987 songezo, as you are marching towards ukubulela abantu abebezo embrace lo msebenzi wakho. 1987 uFidel Castro uthi ngoJanuary each and every month he was phoning Oliver Tambo. Uthi, I want you to come with a delegation. The issue at hand which we are going to discuss is Freedom Charter. On the 7th month, which was July, almost daily on that week, babeza flyer from Lusaka, belitishwa Oliver Tambo to Havana in Cuba. When they reached Cuba, over a cup of tea, he began to start the meeting, and then he said, there is a clause in the Freedom Charter which says, the land shall be shared amongst those who work it. Can you unpack and analyze this thing? Ujola wemangenyawo. Intelentele ANC, Paulo Jordan, wamangenyawo wazama analyzer. When he was analyzing that, to Fidel Castro, this is where you have a problem. Don't change the system of administration, which is capitalist system, to the socialism. This is the mistake we made. Take the first 3 offices, run that country as a capitalist country so that you can educate your engineers. You are saying that the land shall be shared amongst those who work it. Do you have engineers to drive the process of social change in South Africa? No, we don't. Do you have doctors? We don't. Do you have educators? We don't. If you don't have the people of the world of technology, you don't know what exactly you are going to do about the clause, the land shall be shared amongst those who work it. Go back to South Africa, you attain your freedom, and then you take 15 years. After 15 years down the line, you can change the system of administration. Isuka Poland. And then they came back, but uthi Fidel Castro must be ngama capital zangacho. But wayesithi abantu base South Africa make bafundiswe kuqala elicala le technology. Kukho ibooze ekuthiwa yandena iBacardi nene. Somebody will know it better than me. There is a booze called Bacardi. Now, I'm short informed, I may not know it deeply. He said, Isiga and Bacardi is manufactured here in Havana. When the Sandinista government we booted it out of Cuba, Bemka kunye ne technology yabo yokwenza iBacardi. They vanished with the technology yabo yokumanufacturisha isaga. Is it called Siga or Saga? Something of the sort. They vanished with that technology. It took us so many years because the producer, the Bacardi you see here, I see you. Instead, you ram Bacardi to become a Bacardi takes 15 years. We never had that opportunity to have a Bacardi for the next 15 years because technology yoyenza abantu abescineza lenga phambili. That's why I'm saying to you, don't plunge yourself into the mistake we have committed. Rather, you take 15 years and educate your scientists and your engineers, which are going to be black and be biased towards your program. Thereafter, you will be able to pick up. Now we are picking up almost 27 years down the line after the fall of the next 15 years of Fidel Castro. I'm on the and the Hablis in Dengue, go and research this thing with Ofikikon. It is there. In the library which is being constructed in Johannesburg with Ofikalento Icon. And this Ukuya Gem Tombo, Perestroika and Glasnost, 1985. I won't touch that area, Perestroika and Glasnost. In simple terms, it means capitalism and democracy. That's what it means, Perestroika and Glasnost. When Mikhail Gorbachev said you are changing in Russia to a perestroika and glasnost from a system, a communism. I man we understand into Balendo Aizanga Nawe is no Fidel Castro, is no Oliver Tambo. Remember, we end 15 years after freedom. Gelishwa by mistake. That's why ni pikisha almost 27 years down the line. But the good thing is that aninga diswanga by any arm of government. nizifukuzele bafowethu nilapha nayo ngoku, it's very good. May you prosper and God give you each and every blessing at your disposal and utilize it for our benefit. Thank you very much. You may exploit your podium.
Professor from Forte, is he here? Are you here? All right. I didn't brief Undombi. I was just keeping this as a surprise. So you may replace the speaker from the ECDC. Professor is busy writing a book that will be launched next year. This book will be focused on Mdantsane, specifically on Mdantsane and the township economy. It will be showcasing businesses around Mdantsane. Obapati now, Abakona, that's why, and then they show Babelapa, Otembelani are right there. He's probably one of the only forensic investigators who's qualified in the Buffalo City, or if not South Africa, who's black. Tembelani is the founder and MD of Miller Consulting Forensics. Ubapati is right there. Our next Ray Eckerman, who's working towards feeding this township. Well, I won't even mention Upramex, everyone knows him. So we've got a lot of, I'm giving you your content for the book. So I'm gonna just to call you up, Prof, just to say a few words. Because what you are doing with that book closely aligns with what we're doing here today.
Good afternoon to everyone. I also am a beneficiary of the funding from the CSIR, and I stand here because I'm grateful. We got funding a year ago to study cyber infrastructure resources with Dr. Happy Stole in historically disadvantaged universities. They call us HDIs. That's your WUSU, Forte, UWC, Zululand, Limpopo, Venda. But what we are excited about is that we are also acknowledging the great work CSIR is doing. And so we are also looking forward to also showcasing the work that we are doing in historically black universities. So this idea came about because I travel a lot, especially on the African continent. And when I travel, what our guests always try to do is to show us the nice parts of their countries. And so the other time we were in Uganda, and I'm being shown all these nice places in Kampala. And then I requested to say, can we not go and see the other side of town of Kampala? And they were scared. No, you are our guests. We don't want you to get robbed. And, you know, all the stories they say. But we requested to see that other side of town. And what was interesting is that we were working with Makerere University, but most of the kids who were studying at Makerere universities were being funded by the efforts that were happening on the other side of town. And for us, it was an eye-opener, and I came back and I said, I would like to showcase some of these experiences, particularly in this township that we've got called Mdantsane. Everybody can tell you stories about Mdantsane. My students on a Monday can tell you about, I might not mention this, Kwajef. Somebody, they always say that it was lit, Prof. We were at Kwajef's this past weekend. And so that's what we are trying to do, to try and get some of these township stories in a book that I hope will be circulated all across the African continent, so that when somebody arrives from Addis, when somebody arrives from Harare and they say, can you show us the other side of town? We want them to have that book. And today I can safely say one of the chapters of that book has been written by virtue of this event that has happened here. Thank you, CSIR. Thank you, UNDP. You've created a platform through which all of this can happen. And we hope
these efforts will continue to inspire many more entrepreneurs. And I teach entrepreneurship at the University and Strategic Management. And I would love to stop talking about Richard Branson. I want to talk about Songezo in my class, and that helps the young entrepreneurs to also see what's going on.
The podium, Songezo, is yours. Our South African Richard Branson. Exploit it to the best of your ability. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof, very much. Okay, I think we've arrived at the moment where I have to do the shortest but most significant speech. To the UNDP, our funders, CSIR, project partners and leaders, our business customers who are here, my favorite customers, the schools, Tanzania. These are my favorite customers. It's, you know, servicing those schools is very close to my heart. We never had these fancy things because, you know, I started school right here in Tanzania. We never had those things. And it pains me that I look at the school that I did grade 1, so they still don't have internet. Hopefully we have now our foot soldiers, such as Osis no Sandy, who speak on our behalf, on behalf of this brand unofficially, who will hopefully convince them to see reason. Because printers are not working. It's sad. You see a school without a phone, without a telephone, and the hotspotting on the principal's cell phone. It's just sad. There's a nice treat that I would like to announce that we're going to be adding. You know, we were charging for this service, but I've made a decision that we're going to do it for free going forward, only for schools. For all our schools who are getting connected to the internet, I've noticed that I picked this up from Ose and Devula Mazbuko that even Ovuyo had the similar issue where, you know, there was this battle around the Wi-Fi password, and it had to be changed every week or every 2 weeks or so. So, you know, I made a decision that we need to do better than just provide internet. So effective next week, we'll be going back to all those clients who are our school business internet clients, and we'll be implementing a voucher system where we'll be building a second network that separates from the administrative network being used by the office. We will call it Zanukanya Guest, where you will be in full control of a system that dispenses vouchers for everyone who needs to connect, and they can connect for 1 gig and then it switches off. Then you don't have to worry about them reusing that password. We're going to be implementing that system from next week. I'm making that project official. So I believe Usen, you can sleep better tonight. So we will not be honoring your request of changing your password anymore. We've got a permanent solution. Okay. My family, that's here. I get emotional when I'm about to speak about these people. I wish every entrepreneur had the kind of support system that I have. You know, if in the darkest months where you go to sleep not knowing if the servers will still be up tomorrow, you know, you took comfort in the fact that I have these people who are here, who carry me. And abantu basemdantsane, you know, there's this misconception that your customers are seldom the people whom you know personally. In my case, it's totally different. you know, abantu basemdantsane, they came out in numbers, uniting behind this brand. And they are ready to defend it. I won't go into specifics, but I saw them showing someone flamed not so long ago that they are ready to defend this brand from any fire that's coming from any corner. And I'm glad that our honorable councillor has finally had the opportunity to hear about the work that we've been doing. We haven't really had time to sit with the government and brief them on what we are doing. And also, in case everyone is wondering, let me just pass the apologies of the mayor's office. They have apologized. They wanted to be here, but there is a meeting that includes all their GM and some of their committee members, which they are attending today. So they have apologized. There is an apology on record. The mayor wanted to be here, and he didn't have enough time to do a pre-recorded message because of the chaos that we all know that was happening yesterday around Tanzania. The shutdown, the unofficial shutdown. We're just glad it's over. Where's John? John is here representing CEO Uputstelo from the Cecilia Makiwane Hospital, who has also apologized. He sent his chief engineer. John knows me very well. We've worked together for years. So that's why when it came time to come and dig his parking area to put Wi-Fi poles from the CSIR, I just made a call, John. So Vagi Wi-Fi, man, go in. So there weren't any of that bureaucratic paperwork, and I was like, nah, it's me, man. Oh, go ahead. Thank you, John. Thank you for coming. And please pass my regards to CEO. Councillor for gracing us with her presence. Thank you very much. Bafo Tibetu, BCM TV for coming through. Usvich was here. He left early. Reverend.
Yes, my Lord.
Thank you. I know you were invited to carry this very heavy task. Early hours of the morning at last minute, but I went to you for a reason. Firstly, I know you'd say yes. And secondly, you're good at this. I know that, but most importantly, you one of our elders in that community, Yagwa9, where all of this originated. I could not think of any better person to direct this program than you. And also to thank Reverend Hawk Makebula in his absence for coming through. I think I also hijacked him on Saturday, last minute. Actually, I think he kind of gate crashed, and I said yes. Yeah, that's how it went. Now, you know, this is a milestone. That's why I keep emphasizing the importance and what it took to get here. We struggled. I think Umdema knows this very well. We struggled to carry this business. You know, having to start something like this from nothing. And if you were to ask me, what I've learned is that never try to start an ISP without money. It's gonna kill you. I lost 10 kgs at some point. But we're here now. We're here now, and there's no turning back from here. We are, you know, people keep saying that we are approaching 4IR. We need to be ready. I'm sorry to break it to you, it's already here. We're in there, it's already here. And I was just telling the Daily Dispatch on the sidelines just now that making all this noise about 4IR and all the nice things that come with it, such as your blockchain technology, your artificial intelligence, your Internet of Things, automated vehicles, self-driving cars, and all these things, and space exploration, I'm counting things I'm fascinated about. Making all this noise is rather pointless until we get the basics right. pushing people towards blockchain and Internet of Things and all these nice things that come with the 4IR agenda without internet access for everyone, and I mean for everyone, every woman, mother and child and father, for everyone. It is like handing Ferraris to all the residents and expecting them to drive them on a gravel road and expect those cars to be efficient and last. It is pointless, it is madness. Let's get the basics right. You know, after we launched Umdas Wi-Fi and we saw people purchasing vouchers and connecting to the internet, you know, at some point I kept saying, you know, I wish I could just give this away for free. I wish I could just give it away for free. That's how panicky I am about this continent missing another industrial revolution. Because if we don't do this, we are running a risk of missing another revolution like we've done the previous 3. And that would be a travesty. So, without keeping everyone, we're going to throw everything we've got into this, like we've done the past 2 years since we started. We're going to keep doing it until we get it right. And one day, someone is going to ask, how did you get here? How did it become a success? And my response will be simple, because my strategy and my recipe to success is very simple. It may seem complicated to you, but I look at it in a very simplistic manner. I've got a model and a method that I use. I build something, and when it gets to a point where I know that now it needs heavy lifting, I look at every detail and I identify the very thing that's keeping it from growing. I identify that and I obsess over it like a psychopath, like a madman. I don't sleep until I get it out of the way and it's been done correctly. And somewhere along the way, the picture begins to form. That's when dreams come true. Thank you very much.
Ndicinga ukuthi uSongeza ndizomphinda. Ndiyambona umuntu okwazi uthandaza ofana nami. Andinidi umboniswa. Ndizawubiza ke umfowethu azosithandazela lapha avale lo msitho ngomthandazo. Lo beke wandinika isanitizer. I've paralyzed you, eh? I've paralyzed you. Masithathe ke indumiso esizovala ngayo. Yeah. It's that world of technology. Masithathe indumiso esizothi sivale ngayo. Andazi ke noba pha emajwarheni singake siphinde sivizithele khona. Kutatomkhulu wakho, and we'll select the last verse yala Nkosi singadeli imfundiso zezwi lakhe. That's the last verse in that song. It's 116 ewisile ne. Yala Nkosi singadeli imfundiso zezwi lakho. Uze usivuselele sive inyaniso yakho.
Bawo Thixo somandla dali wezulu nomhlaba sithembe wena ke bawo nangelithuba usinike lona namhlanje nomsebenzi wahamba kakuhle thabatha indawo ke Thixo fikelele bawo apho singafikelelanga khona sinika amandla nosongezo siqhubha umsebenzi sibeke phambili kuYesu Kristu inkosi yethu amen.
Masamkele no fefe ke benediction eh? May his grace, the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit rest and abide with us now and forevermore. Ukuba kukhubana ongqinayo apha endlini